In the 10th chapter of Hosea, we are presented with a striking agricultural paradox. The nation of Israel is described as an empty vine, yet it is simultaneously overflowing with fruit. The theologian John Gill clarifies how this works. The vine is considered empty of spiritual goodness because every grape it produces is consumed for its own self-serving glory. There is a direct correlation between Israel's material prosperity and their spiritual rebellion. As agricultural wealth multiplied, they used that exact surplus to finance and multiply their false altars. The root cause of this decay is what the text calls a divided heart, a spiritual fracture where a person attempts to split their allegiance between the worship of God and the pursuit of their own desires. This internal fracture manifests outwardly as violations of the first and second commandments. The people took the physical abundance of their land and forged it into physical idols. A fractured relationship with God bleeds into a fractured society. Covenants are broken. In their daily commerce, the 9th commandment regarding false swearing dissolves into the background of Samaria's trade. The agricultural result of this injustice is severe. The justice they were supposed to cultivate ceases to be a healing herb. Instead, it springs up as poisonous hemlock in the furrows of their fields. A human will, apart from God's regenerating grace, produces only this toxic fruit of self-worship and autonomy. Those overgrown, poisonous fields eventually meet a violent harvest. Hosea shifts the focus to the sudden demolition of Israel's opulent sanctuaries and false fortresses. We see this historical humiliation clearly when the golden calf of Samaria is dragged away as literal plunder to appease the Assyrian king. Samaria's political power is effortlessly swept away. The prophet compares their king to foam upon the water, exposing the fragility of human authority when it stands against divine decree. This destruction operates as God's temporal, earthly judgment, a historical corrective distinct from an infinite afterlife of torment. The imagery of thorns and thistles growing over the ruined altars acts as a symbol of Aenean colossus. This Greek term refers to an age-lasting corrective discipline meant to prune and strip away a person's illusions of self-sufficiency. The psychological terror of this pruning is immense. The people are described as begging the mountains and hills to fall on them, desperate to be covered from the devastation of their own making. This physical terror connects to the biblical concepts of Sheol and Hades. Here they are shown as present earthly devastation and the severe temporal consequence of sin. God's fierce chastisement serves as a calculated demolition of human autonomy, clearing away false idols so that no one can rely on their own strength. Over this desolate, thorn-covered landscape, a single ethereal beam of light breaks through the dark, tempestuous storm clouds. Before this grace arrives, Israel's posture is likened to a stubborn heifer. They love to eat the rich rewards of the harvest, but they refuse to bear the yoke of obedience. Because they have plowed wickedness and trusted only in their own mighty men, their actions are futile, guaranteeing their own ruin. Out of this ruin comes the gospel command in verse 12. It is a directive to stop relying on human effort and to seek the Lord till he come and rain righteousness upon you. Through a Christocentric lens, this reign has a singular identity. It is Jesus Christ, the divine substitute who voluntarily bore the hemlock and the thorns of the curse upon the cross to satisfy divine justice. Saving faith enters the heart as a sovereign gift, a rain that falls only when the Holy Spirit awakens the inner life. This is the doctrine of imputed righteousness, the legal transfer of Christ's perfect obedience and merit directly to the believer, covering their barrenness. The age-lasting discipline that once grew thorns now prepares the soil for a final restorative harvest. This sovereign reign of Christ's sacrifice ultimately resurrects the empty vine, gathering all humanity into an eternal kingdom.